Okay.
Okay, I'm rolling my second camera. I'm not even sure if I'm like.
All right, sweet. So week 2 video diary.
Something that I notice about myself is that I work really hard if I care about it. If I care about the project, or if I'm happy with like the team and the direction, I will work my tail off, to not say work my ass off. I don't know. I don't want you guys to have to bleep too much stuff. But I'm a very hard worker when I want to be.
Hard work for me looks like, man, not taking a break.
Well, hard work looks like to me can come in so many different avenues, really. Just make sure that you're doing the job that you're supposed to do and doing the best of your ability, I think would sum that up pretty much.
People get so, and this is just a general comment about everybody, they get so specific, like, I didn't bake the right cupcake.
Yeah.
But I have all these other cupcakes that I've done, and there's value to all of them. They're just different flavors and sizes, and delivery. One might be a cupcake pop, Yeah. But yet, because I don't have this one thing, I'm going to focus on that and ignore all of this.
That's exactly where I am right now.
Someone who never gives up. Although, there will be slip-ups, there will be mistakes, there's no question about that. Hard work is just, recognizing that you're a human, that you'll make mistakes, but still pressing forward beyond that and not letting that, be a hindrance or obstacle.
Brain damage doesn't come and go. It's there. When it's there, your brain can't fix itself, number one. I said, and I'll tell them number two. I'm like, number two, I graduated summa cum laude in my bachelor's degree. I graduated with a perfect 4.0 with my master's degree. I just graduated a year and a half ago with a doctorate in management. I was the best manager, probably at least one of the top 5 managers in the nation for the U.S. Census. So if I'm doing all this with brain damage, I'm doing pretty dang good. Like I said, I've had a lot of success, but I'm just looking for permanence, really. My dream job would be to assist veterans in their transition from the military.
Finding a job in film is very elusive, and there's a lot of people have a lot of different advice, most of which is just go out and do it, like go out and be part of it, and there's this kind of, how do I describe it, sort of like a plinko, like you don't really know where the marble is going to land when you do it that way. So I'm sort of trying to find a better, more sensible way forward.
I know what it's like to be struggling through a situation, and there are times when we feel like everything that we want is unattainable and our current situation is permanent. Am I ever going to be able to get away from being the girl that was drinking all the time? Am I ever going to remove myself from whatever that was? And as I'm having my conversation with my friend, I said to her, it's interesting because sobriety is part of my story now, for good or for bad. It just is. Your incarceration is always going to be part of your story, but it's not something that you're going to have to visit every single moment, every single minute, every single day. It's not.
I do feel like it is a running theme in my life where I don't feel very proud of myself. I kind of put a lot of pressure to continue to achieve, and that's probably not a good thing at all. I know I need to not relish in my accomplishments. I don't think that's the right word, but I feel like I do need to sometimes take a break and just say, wow, you really did a good job. Like, good job, Marley. You pat yourself on the back and celebrate it. But sometimes I feel like I just kind of say, okay, that was great. Let's on to the next thing, which is why sometimes I stress myself out way too much.
The hardest obstacle I'm overcoming currently is just being able to break away from complacency and just a place of familiarities. So, in case I do get a position where I would have to relocate, like out of state or something like that, even though I love my family and I'll miss them, I'm just trying to break out of that familiarity so I can, expose myself to more and progress more in life. So I don't hold myself back by being fearful.
How do you handle rejection?
Not well. How do I handle rejection? That's not such a hard thing, I think, for anyone to kind of deal with.
I kind of take it on the nose, really. If I am turned down for a job, if I fail at some aspect in my life, I pick myself up. As the old saying goes, I pull myself up by my bootstraps and I try harder the next time.
In the last 4 days, I've seen everything from a dead body to somebody getting mugged right in front of me. Dead animals and everything. It's kind of weird when you tell your coworker that you saw a dead body. They think you're lying. Like, okay.
I can only imagine what it's like every day.
I grew up in severe poverty. I mean, I'm not sure I said it before, but my mom was my hero, or is my hero. I mean, she raised 6 kids on her own with no help from anybody. I mean, at least minimal help from anybody, and she was the hardest worker I ever knew.
I would say an obstacle I overcame was just basically growing up in a single parent household and making sure that I didn't fall into the wrong crowd. I feel like I worked really hard on that because it could have been very easy for me to fall into the wrong crowd, but instead I kind of took myself away from that element and either stayed in the house or played sports as well to kind of make sure I was staying disciplined, and actually my mom making sure I stayed disciplined as well.
Well, my parents didn't really require me and my sister to actually get a job, like your average 9-to-5 job. They wanted us to focus on academics, but there were other ways they introduced work ethic into our lives. So me and my sister were taken to the flea market by our parents, and we would just start doing our flea market business, just selling all different types of things people may like CDs and things like that. So after, doing the flea market business, that awoken the business drive within me.
Pixar has a really good formula. Their stories always start off as once upon a time. And that's really giving context. It's really kind of setting the stage of what's going to come. The second thing that they go into is they go into every day until one day, and until one day, this is the wow, something happened. One day I woke up and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm working in the wrong field. Mm-hmm. I'm doing the wrong job. And because of that, things started to change. And because of that, things got super until finally everyone lived happily ever after.
So not only did I do a lot of photo shoots last week, which included like a farm bridal shoot, that was fun. But I also had 2 interviews. So the first interview is for a position that's about 8 hours away. It seems like they're moving towards the direction of onboarding me. With this position, the salary is around 60,000 starting.
Okay.
That's the base. Now, the only thing is I will have to move to this location. It's not remote. And the hours are about 49 hours per week. And that also includes Saturdays rotating. With this job, I'm not sure if I would really have that work-life balance, because they even said this is for those who, have the grit and dedication to want to pursue this career. So I'm like, where's the time to even pursue passion with this one? But the salary is great.
One of my dream jobs that I've been hoping for ever since leaving the Marine Corps. I scored the interview tomorrow, which will be a conversation, and I'm going to discuss with them my potential employment with them to assist veterans in their transition out of the military.
Look at how remarkable you have been in 1 week.
Absolutely.
1 week, Jeremy. You are going to be, you are going to go into orbit. Take this experience as far as you can go.
Right.
And that's all the way to negotiating. So I wanted to share that with you and to assure you that when we get to the interview, I'm going to teach you how to ring your bell first. When you go into the interviews, I'm going to tell you and share with you and work with you on exactly what to say, how much to say, when to say it, so that you segue into the interview and it's kind of it's not a big deal.
I don't feel like I had very much success this week. I still feel like I am getting caught up with everything, so I just don't feel like I did anything that is deemed successful. I don't know if that's a good thing to say. I did complete my About Me on my LinkedIn page, and I feel like that was a success. And then also, it's not up yet, but I went through all of my resume and I updated everything with the active verbs that we spoke about with SJ. And so today or this evening, I'll be able to update that information on my LinkedIn profile.
The second week went awesome. I even had a job interview this week, which was kind of my dream job, or it is kind of my dream job. It's a position that not only would I be helping veterans, but I would be managing all the people helping veterans in that capacity. Similar to what you guys are doing here, helping us find jobs. I would be doing that I would be managing the people that are doing that for military veterans in the state of Idaho and around the country.
Well, one thing that she kind of pointed out, which I'm taking to heart, is you need to build in some time for yourself. You need to kind of set a few boundaries, and I think in this second week I've done that. I think I've watched a couple movies and I've chilled out in the evening, but I've definitely been on the go a lot.
Yes, what SJ said to me that stuck with me the most, that made a lasting impression for me, was that for my being, young and just, being 24, she said that I have wisdom and that she wished she even had wisdom even at her age. Can you imagine? I'm a Christian, I'm saved, and, I give all the glory back to God. And, all that wisdom that she was noticing wasn't of my own wisdom at all. It was from, it's from God.
The doors over this past week and a half have blasted wide open.